Before I start, I just have to say, wow. I mean, what a day. I didn't know how it would impact me emotionally, but seeing all of you here, knowing what you went through, how you got here, with your families, with your friends, is really incredible. So thank you for having me here today. Thank you, Dean Onwachi Willard. You guys deserve it. Thank you, Dean, for those very kind words. It's truly an honor to be here this morning with so many fond memories of my time here as a student and of my wonderful connections to the law school over the past several decades. We all know why we're here today, so let me be one of the first to say congratulations to today's graduates, the Boston University Law School class of 2024. I know how hard you've worked, I know the hours of study you've put in, and I know how proud you are to reach this milestone. After endless cases, countless citations, and years of effort, it can feel like you've done it, like you've reached a culmination, and that the hard stuff is behind you. But, in another sense, I suspect you all know that the hard work is just beginning. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. This is a tremendously difficult time for our country. Everywhere we turn, we see efforts to undermine our democracy. Our social fabric is fraying, while racism, antisemitism, Islamophobia, and so many other forms of hate are surging. And we are losing, or perhaps have already lost, our ability to have civil conversations with those with whom we disagree. Core pillars of our democratic system, like checks and balances and accountability, are being threatened. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter." We do not have the luxury of being silent. We must stand together to save our democracy, to fight the hate that is taking root, and to confront the forces that are threatening the future we all want and deserve. The Dean has spoken to you, and you guys are going to do it. The Dean has spoken to you about moral courage. I'm going to speak to you about leadership, because our country needs better leadership, and our country needs moral leadership. It needs leaders with a backbone, leaders who recognize fundamental truths, and leaders who are willing to act on what they know to be right. There are many issues in the world that fall into shades of gray, but there are also many issues that are clearly black and white. Yet even on these black and white issues, too many leaders are unwilling to take a stand, even when they know what is right. Jonathan Sacks, the religious and political leader who was a beacon across faiths, used to say that most people choose armchair morality. It's an easy morality, a selective morality, one that allows people to form their positions based only on what they already know or think they know. But to be a true moral leader, you must be willing to take a stand. You must be willing to learn, and you must be willing to expose yourself to new opinions that challenge your ideas. That is what BU has trained you to do, and that is the hard work that lies ahead for each of you, regardless of the path you choose. You are the ones who can and must provide the moral leadership our country so desperately needs. You understand technology, its opportunities and pitfalls, because you've grown up with it. You see the impact of political division because you've lived through it. And you know how to take on challenges and triumph in spite of them, because you've had to do that through years of a pandemic, to say nothing of the past few months of unrest. Your generation is uniquely positioned to take on this challenge. And you, as Boston University Law School graduates, are prepared to lead this charge. You are smart and savvy, and you have been trained to think like a lawyer and to solve problems. You have learned the importance of asking the right questions, probing the answers, and challenging that which does not seem fair or just. Law school has prepared you well, and you are ready. Briefing case after case has taught you so much more than the facts of Miranda versus Arizona or the holding of Marbury versus Madison. It has instilled in each of you a systematic approach to distilling complex information and applying established rules to new facts. Indeed, law school has given each of you the habits of mind that have transformed you into more rigorous analytical thinkers and given you a new understanding of how to approach and navigate disputes. You have learned that you can only be an effective advocate when you understand your opponent's perspectives, motivations, and incentives. And in learning to see and argue all sides of an issue, you know that understanding the person across the table is critical to achieving the right solution, not only in court, but in life. You have learned that no matter how contentious the issue at hand, the law demands collegiality and respect. Your adversaries are not your enemies. Whether arguing in moot court, representing clients in a clinic, or debating in class, you have internalized an essential truth of our legal system, that we can disagree without being disagreeable, and that we can argue opposing sides without making it personal. In our profession, there is accountability not only for what we say and do, but for our demeanor and adherence to a moral code inside and outside the courtroom. When I practiced criminal law in Boston, we would often gather with opposing counsel at the end of the day at a restaurant called Maison Robert, which was in the old City Hall, and we would decompress over drinks. It's a simple reminder that it's possible to argue, compete, and oppose in the morning and socialize in the evening. As you move forward in your careers and your lives, this approach will serve you well. Moral leadership springs from treating clients, opponents, shareholders, family, friends, annoying neighbors, even political opponents, with empathy, dignity, and respect. And it is incumbent on each of you to draw on what you have learned and to provide the moral leadership necessary to address the challenges that we all face today, not only in the practice of law, but in society at large. My father was a very successful businessman, but when people would come to him asking about business school, he always dismissed it. A waste of time, he would say. Go to law school. He strongly believed, yes, go to law school, guys, you did it. You guys have done it. My dad strongly believed that it is the best education for anything you want to do in life. He knew this firsthand because he started his career as an attorney, practicing tax law and arguing before the Supreme Court. He then went on to turn a small family drive-in movie theater business into one of the biggest media companies in the world. But even when he was at the height of his power and influence in the media industry, he loved coming here to the law school to teach. In the 1980s, he created a course on entertainment law, which was one of the very first of its kind in the country. In fact, he had to create an entire curriculum and casebook from scratch. In 2013, as the dean referred to, he made the gift to BU Law that created the Sumner Redstone building, where I know you have all spent an awful lot of time in the last few years. This year, we dedicated the Redstone Reading Room to honor his legacy. It is not only a testament to the lasting impact he had on his law students here at BU, but also, and as important, if not more important, to the lasting impact that his students had on him. My father believed that we all have an obligation to shed light where darkness exists. And for that reason, education and civic engagement have been cornerstones of both my career and philanthropy. At Paramount, we are mindful of the powerful role media plays in shaping culture, and we have sought to harness it for good. 2 years ago, we launched Content for Change, a global effort to break down the narratives that enable intolerance, hurtful stereotypes, and racism. We also recently launched a short-form video series at Nickelodeon, well-versed in the tradition of Schoolhouse Rock. These videos explain the fundamentals of democracy and citizenship for young viewers. And these are only a couple of examples of the work our teams do around the world to shed light on issues that matter, to educate our audiences, and to expose these audiences to different people and cultures. You don't need to run a media company to make a difference. Each of us can be a moral leader in our communities and organizations, in our homes and in our families. But you do need to learn the facts, ask the right questions, listen to the answers, and find solutions. And even more important, you need to use your voices and your platforms to educate those around you and engage in the conversations and actions that will strengthen our democracy and our society. The moral leadership I am asking from all of you is what will be necessary to build the future I know we all want for generations to come. My dad used to say that without the law, there is no character. And you all know this one very well. Law school makes you think differently. You are not the same person you were when you started here 3 years ago. Whether you are reading the news, watching TV, or engaging with your colleagues, friends, or family, you will bring a new energy and thought process to everything that you do. And regardless of the path you choose, you have truly been given the opportunity, the training, and the responsibility to be moral leaders at home, at work, and in your communities. That is why I am asking you today not to lose sight of what you have learned, the character you have built, and the skills you have developed. Our fractured society is not going to heal on its own, and we are looking to you, all of you, each and every one of you, to lead us forward. Our country needs you, and our future depends on you. So thank you very much for having me at your commencement, and congratulations once again to all of the graduates. Good luck to you all.